Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Coach Matt, EliteThrowsCoaching.com, Primal Athlete Training Center here in Cranston, Rhode Island. Here in the home office once again, talking to you a little bit more about weeks 10, 11, and 12, and then finally week 13 of the fall preseason training. So for many of us, our winter season is going to be starting up in about 4 weeks. Typically, it is the very last week of November or the very first week of December. So this 13-week program is getting you to a point where you are more explosive while still being just as strong or trying to hold on to the strength that you've been building since the summer. So we want you to keep your max strength or keep very close to your max strength in the main movements. That's the bench press, the squat, and the deadlift. But the accessory movements, as you've been noticing over the past few weeks, have been getting a lot more explosive. Basically, what I am doing is incorporating movements that you cannot do slowly. So there are a lot of jumps and jumping lunges. You cannot do a jump slowly. It's no longer a jump at that point, it's a squat. We are doing jumping lunges. Again, you cannot do a jumping lunge slowly. There is this intrinsic, explosive, fast, ballistic quality to it just by nature. The other things that we're doing are some of the what are called dumbbell quick lifts. So the quick lifts are like the dumbbell snatch, dumbbell clean and press. We are actually, again, taking those exercises, using those dumbbell movements, because you cannot do them slowly. You cannot snatch a dumbbell slowly. You cannot clean and press a dumbbell slowly. You have to explode. Just the nature of the movement is that you have to be as explosive and as powerful as possible. So what we're going to do over the next 3 weeks is we are going to continue to push you very hard and use some heavier weight on the main exercises to try to keep that strength that you've been building since the summer. So as we get into the season, we don't want to lose strength. We don't want to compromise strength. We want to actually try to keep your strength the same or increase it for those main movements. That's the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. Now, the other thing that you're going to see is this week, the assistance exercises are staying very explosive. They have those explosive qualities. But what you're going to notice is that the repetitions that are prescribed are going to be a lot lower. So instead of sets of 6 and sets of 8, you might see sets of 4 over the next few weeks, sets of 3, sets of 2 over the next few weeks. Now, why is that? Is that because we want you to take the same dumbbell that you've been using for a set of 8 and now do that for a set of 4? Absolutely not. What we want you to do is to try to pick a heavier dumbbell. Again, heavier dumbbells in those movements, what's that going to do? Is it going to make the movement impossible? No, but what that's going to do is make it so that you have to be even more explosive, even more forceful when you're doing these lifts. Now, the heavier dumbbell, obviously you're going to fatigue a lot quicker, and you're going to have to focus and slow down in between the exercises. So if you were doing, say, a set of 6 and it was a clean and press, you dip, clean, dip, press, down, down, dip, clean, dip, press, down, down. You might be doing that for 8 reps on the right, 8 reps on the left. I'll say we move down to a set of 4, the heavier dumbbell. It's going to look like this. Down, clean, down, press. Maybe use the other hand to bring it down. Take a deep breath. That's only 1. You got to do 4. The heavier weight means you can't just bang through these things nice and quick. Just bang through them nice and explosive. You're still moving explosively, but the weight is heavier, so you're going to have to do fewer repetitions. Your grip's going to give out, or you're just going to get so fatigued that you're not going to be able to do that many of them. So just like you would choose a heavier dumbbell and do fewer repetitions with, say, a dumbbell bench press, you're going to choose a heavier dumbbell and do fewer repetitions with that dumbbell clean or that dumbbell snatch. But again, just because that's an explosive movement, you're still going to be working on speed. And that's what we need. We need to find that balance this time of year between strength and speed. It can't be all strength because you're not going to be practicing your speed. And it can't be all speed because you're going to be losing strength as we get into the spring. I mean, what we're trying to do here, guys, is try to hold on to strength or even increase strength as we get into April, May, and June. okay, for your championship spring events. The wintertime, we have to try to slowly and gradually sprinkle in speed. I mean, it's like when you're making a recipe and, or your mom or your grandma or whoever is making a recipe and they just put in a little dash of salt. Then they stir it up and they taste it. A little bit more salt, just a little sprinkle, a little bit of salt. That's what we're doing. We're just kind of sprinkling in and gradually adding in speed. We're not completely just getting rid of strength and doing all light and explosive. We're starting to kind of merge the two. So strength is still there, speed is starting to come in, and they're just slowly, lightly blending together. We're not just abruptly stopping one and quickly starting the other. It's a nice descent into the more explosive, the more speed-based workouts, okay? So what you guys are going to see this week is week 10. Now, week 10 is, again, going to look similar to what you've done before. We do this for a reason. That's so you can look back at what you've done and then choose the appropriate weight for those movements. So if you did your dumbbell clean and press and you used a 40-pound dumbbell for a set of 8, and then you use the 45 for a set of 6. Well, this week, if it's whatever it calls for, I think it's a set of 4 this week. We write these ahead of time, so I wrote this workout about 2 weeks ago. So I think it's a set of 4 this week. What you are going to see is that you can go back and look. So don't use that 40-pounder again. You know you can do that for 8 and be as explosive for 8. 45 for 6, what are you going to do this week? Maybe 50, maybe even a 55. Try to push it. So look back at what you've done. Hopefully you've been writing these things down, filling in the blanks, and you'll know exactly what to do. All right? Guys, thanks so much for being a part of this group. I know I say this every week, but I really mean it. This group right now, because it's not track season, is very, very small. Usually during winter season and spring season, this group blows up and we add in a bunch of new people. So thank you so much for being one of those dedicated few people who are really working hard, really putting in the time during this fall season to get yourself ready for winter. I really appreciate it. I know your coaches and your athletes are going to appreciate it. For the coaches out there that are using these workouts for their athletes at their schools, kudos to you. It's an awesome thing, and I'm sure you're seeing a lot of great results. Guys, please keep using that Facebook group. I know it's been pretty quiet here because it is the off season, but we've got a few weeks till winter starts. Hopefully a lot more videos keep coming in. Hopefully a lot more people are commenting on and leaving coaching cues for others and really turning that into a great community where you can all be a part of and get the help that you need to really hit some big PRs. All right? Hope you guys are doing great out there. Let me know if there's any questions, and I will see you next week.